70 change.
70 change.
And it's not big change either.
Big enough change. Remember, it's 2023 now.
All right,
The
all right,
fact is, yeah, I've been writing since then. It was a grand experiment. You know, lack of confidence. You say, can I do this? And you see other people out there writing, and you hear the great Ernest Smith and the great Bob Marley, and then people say, I wonder if I can write stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then, little by little, I eased into it. One of the big writing things for me came through theatre rather than straight out recording stuff. Because I've done more musical theatre in Jamaica, music for musical theatre, meaning songwriting, which is melody and lyrics.
And the pantomime was a big part of that.
Yeah, I did a lot of collabs with Barbara Gludan. She was lyrics, I was singing. Right. But I also did a lot of works with Louis Marriott, the late Louis Marriott. I did work with Aston Cook, the late Aston Cook, a number of persons, Trevor Rowan, you name them. So, in terms of that writing side, a whole lot of songs emerged from that experience.
But you also did some pop music, a lot of pop music things,
yeah, man,
separate and apart from the Fab Five material.
Yeah, but hold on, I try to put the thing in perspective.
Yes.
I have to talk the thing, you know.
Yes.
Combine all of the people who try to write for theatre together, put them in a room.
Yes.
I write more than the whole of them.
Combine,
right. And more things have been put out there, and some things out there people don't even know it's me.
Yes.
In terms of pop, oh Lord, a couple hundred well. I think as a single writer, I might, and I say that guardedly, I might have the largest catalogue of published work in Jamaica. At pop level, a lot of it in gospel, because I do a lot of work with Grace Thrillers.
Yeah,
oh
man.
Lord, I write a bag of tune for them. And other people, I write
Yes.
songs for Jim Myers
Yes.
and Roy Ray and
Yes.
you name them, and plus the whole theatre thing, and you know, outside of pantomime, the other musicals that I've done.
You probably singularly have the most wins in festivals, huh?
All of that too.
Excellent.
Not to mention advertising jingles.
Yes.
Considerable amount of that. That is composing also, by the way.
Yes.
Even though you are assisted with lyrics because a company will say what they want you to say. They want all the superlatives about the product and the rare, so you have to pull that together and make it nice, you know, make it palatable to the consumer, you know.
Well, I don't want, because I want to move to Makian, who is the young Turk in this, because I'm sure that Makian is saying, yeah, couple hundred well, and I know when I want to get to couple hundred well, you know. But Makian, not too bad himself at his rate, you know. But Makian, tell us when you started writing, whether yours was a book up like Grubbs, and some of the people you have written for.
I think it's very similar in regards to the buck-up part, not the ears. I wasn't around in the 70s, everybody, so I just got a very interesting lesson that will kind of resonate and live on in my soul for a minute.
Yeah.
In regards to me being a songwriter, it started out when I started hanging around some Rastaman in my community, which is Cassava Peace originally.
Yeah.
And I realized very late that there was actually a band in the community. So I used to just go up there and try to play the drums and stuff. Until I reached a point where I wanted to try doing some writing, but it was just for the sole purpose of seeing people do this, and you know, I try to figure out what it is, and that was the start.
You see, people sometimes hear a lot of songs around. You see, Grub say, you hear a whole heap of things and you never know, say, me, you know. And that's all right, you know, because at the end of the day, your name, your discography is your discography, regardless, right?
Yeah, but it's not all right necessarily, because sometimes them want to deny your discography. A man write two little tune and them say,
And the biggest writer.
Yeah.
People who do them thing and quietly and
Yes.
just keep plodding along, you know what I mean? Me write
Learning
for
and
the Tamale,
building.
you know.
Yes.
And them
One
is
draw
big
and so.
them business there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me write a zillion Christmas tune.
Yes.
With shaping the landscape
Correct.
of a Caribbean/Jamaican Christmas experience.
Absolutely.
But people don't know, them just hear it and them say, yeah man, a stage cool tune, and them grow with it.
Yes.
You know, because we released them things like 88.
80 something, yeah.
We started with that whole process, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so they don't know. They hear stuff and don't know. Just like, you know, even stingers that you compose, but that's not writing words necessarily.
Yes.
Them don't know either. Them hear the thing and them accept it.
Right. You're
So
part
you
of
have
them
to push the
consciousness.
thing to know the
Yeah.
thing and thing. The team from Beyond the Headlines. It's me, man. All by me.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
from
Beautiful,
scratch.
beautiful.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, them
yeah,
thing. But
yeah.
people don't really know you. It comes up in conversations from time to time, but you know, it's not something that you, because the powers that be don't really push these things.
Right.
Them push what is supposed to be hit, you know what I mean?
Well, that's another discussion
Ah,
that
the
we need to
know
go
thing,
to
you
because
know,
yeah, that's another thing because we need to talk about the value of the writer and whether the economic and social value of the writer, because people talking about how the music change and how the youth them now write nothing sensible and or whether them writing them experience. But Director Halliburton, education, the education element is critical. Whether the education element from the standpoint of the education that causes you to write, or what is written and how that educates.
Yeah, let me speak to that. I would like to say from the outset here, I give a lot of respect to writers because there's a different kind of intelligence that comes with writing. Persons are able to write decent or rigorous and painstaking dissertations and theses and journal articles, but tell them, put them to task and say, how well can you construct a song that impresses the masses? It's a different level of intelligence. And education on a whole, I mean, a lot of these artists who do a little bit of literature, right? And I always say to me, I always compare songs and poems. For me, songs are melodic poems.
Yeah.
Take a poem, right? And add melody to it, then you have yourself a song.
Or you take a melody. Take a melody.
Take a melody, yeah. Take a melody and add lyrics to it, and there you have a song. Take a melody, right? Add a poem to it, and
the
there
words
you
from a
have
poem.
a song, right? And in respect of breaking down a poem, of course, you have all the literary devices that can be found within a song. Invariably going to find them in a poem just the same way because it's interchangeable.
But does it have to be standard language, though? Does it have to be standard language?
Standard language? No, it doesn't have to be. It could be the standard variety in which you speak, or it could be the non-standard variety. I mean, we have Jamaican Creole. They're excellent dancehall written songs. Dancehall songs written in
or reggae songs.
And a lot of reggae songs
written in the Jamaican vernacular, in the Creole language. So education on a whole, it plays a very important part. Whether it be formalized education or what you learn from just by the art of writing, there's something that I can't tap into as a writer. I mean, as much as you persons have done, and I a lot of respect I give
You
for
write
that.
melodies, right?
I write melodies, right? As I'm
so
saying,
there-
where
so you have the whole
how do I put the flesh onto it?
Oh, yo, let me open my school, man. Let them come. Because you have it from a very interesting level.
Yeah.
And I've always said it in the public sphere when I get a chance that you need a good, quote-unquote, command of your language in order to be a good writer. Not to rule out the fact that you can write in the vernacular, because some of the most clever pieces of writing come from songs that are written in the vernacular.
Right.
But what I'm saying, if you're really trying to write standard language, or English as we call it, then write properly. This is why some people come and say, Lord man, I'm so illiterate, because I mix up in tenses and I mix up this. But the knowledge of the language is great to have as a tool. Like if you do anything, any discipline, the basics of everything is always good to have that. Music, if you have the basic blueprint how to play drum, right, my virgin?
Yes.
Right? and you know how to do what you do, it make your life way simpler. Because in writing a song, you know there's a time constraint sometimes when you do songs nowadays. 3 minutes and you have to be out of there and things. So you have to learn how to praise it. Well, them not say praise it nowadays. It's really edit them talk about. You learn editing from when you do essays.
Right.
Or stuff, or they may say, convert the following 4 paragraphs into
Condense
no
it.
more than
Truncate,
200 words. Truncate, right.
Right.
And so songs are pretty much like that.
I'm telling you, that's true.
But you do it, you do it without losing the meaning.
Yes.
And you learn a lot of that also when you write commercial jingles. They say, look, this is a 30-second jingle.
Yes.
And they give you
Capture
2,
the
3,
elements
4
within
pages
that.
of copy. And you got to get the important elements of that dispensation within
that
the
period of
30
time.
seconds.
Well, speaking of getting the important elements within the 30 seconds, they're telling me we have to go to a break. So we're going to throw to a break so we can get everything in time. And we're going to go to a performance from our last Jaria Honor Awards with Iri Krishna doing a tribute to Barrington Levy, one of the greatest voices on which we could want to write. So we take a break and we'll be right back. You know what is interesting about that tune, Vice Versa, Love? Vice Versa. Yeah, the educator in Halliburton would say nothing no name Vice Versa. But at that Barrington Levy sing, and it hit, and it resonate even with an English speaker like me. Because when him say Vice Versa, and that we say in a Jamaica.
But you do understand what he's saying, though.
Exactly.
That's the next thing to, you know. It's not, we have to be conscious of the fact that a lot of Jamaicans, they may use that word, not going to speak standard English, you know?
Or somebody not in them comfort zone.
Not literally just not going to speak standard. We have been around. I'm pretty sure we have been to a lot of places in Jamaica. And even people, and when they get comfortable for real, that is when the English goes away. Like, if you were supposed to hear us just now when we were not on camera, so in other space, then now we realize that writing a song or expressing one's self through music is how you express yourself, and people gravitate to differences of opinions and ways,
but also
and different messages.
But also the thing about it is that you know, Barrington, he wrote that song like to some extent within the vernacular, and also that ties in quite comfortably with the fact that there is poetic license. Matthew, the poetic thing no, the poetic thing, it referred originally to poetry. A song that's written is not necessarily poetry, because some of them is rhyming lines, some is without rhyming lines, you know, some of them is just expressions being thrown around. So the poetic license come there, and they draw it into the pop music form.
Or you want to just call it creative license?
Well, whatever, as a modern thing, because I will quote 4 lines from a song for you. This is for your education now, right? Listen good. There's a group called Procol Harum. You might hear them, right? Song called White a Shade of Pale. Now you interpret for me now, right? I'm talking in your language.
Yeah, man, White a Shade of Pale.
Right, interpret for me. We skip the light fandangles, turn cartwheels across the floor. I was feeling kind of seasick. The crowd called out for more. The room was humming harder as the ceiling blew away. I called out for another drink, the waiter brought his tray. And so it was later when the miller told this tale that her face at first just ghostly turned a whiter shade of pale. Right? So all the great academics, let them interpret for me. You know, songwriter, man. Talk, man. Hello.
I'm processing. White shade of pale. That is their death theme. Right? The first thing that comes to mind is that, you know, thematic concerns, they call it, you know, theme, death, white shade of pale. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
You know, but
there have been elements of British life that were put in there about the Miller's Tale, you know. So like you get a Nancy here and there. Okay, fine. But it's a nonsense tune. Absolutely a nonsense tune. Somebody bet him. Someone bet him and him say, let me write this. And him did a follow-up also to a name Hamburg. But it was just a thing and it hit. Probably sell 1 million copies. But you know, the melody and thing was so nice, the melody in the writing. And the lyrics flow in a way where you say, whoa, it's a thing, and you know, it come in almost like nobody don't want to say them don't know what they're talking about. So everybody go like them know the thing, just like the emperor's new clothes. But the little youth know say the emperor naked, and the other people them know say, yeah man, we'll soak up the emperor. Only the emperor, no, but one guy like him don't know. Say nothing to make it, he must say to himself, no, but we never want no clothes, but no man, we don't want,
people them say
stupid.
Right?
So it's the same kind of situation. So people write stuff of all kinds, you know, and but that is one of them that it defies all the laws.
Well, Makian, how do you write though? Because I'm interested in your process. So Grub is giving us the example of somebody who just decides, say, listen, there's an experience or something to think about, and we just want to write about foolishness. And everybody can think about it all they want. But you are writing for VP, are you writing for Jack Cure, are you writing for
Etana, Dwayne Stevens, and Taurus Riley.
Taurus. and they might come to you with an idea, or they might not.
No, yeah, most of the
What is
time
your
is really the freedom of expression from an artist's point of view. Tell me where you're here. My process differs though, whether the music is there first, whether I'm just vibing to my own, in my own head, and a melody comes, and then from there, because I like to start from scratch, like from the beginning. You know, I learned a little bit of music at Edna Manley, so I can hold a few chords and stuff. So some of the times the melody comes, and the melody might come with a bass line or an idea of what the chords are supposed to be.
You know, he has made a very interesting point without him realizing it. Because, you know, in our minds as writers, a song basically is lyrics and melody, okay? Or a melody only, because that's an instrumental.
Yes,
but here the interesting part you put now, say, sometimes you hear a rhythm and you vibe on it.
Yes.
That is the method Queen Africa uses. She said to me, I said, Africa, why do I tune? Why do I like a tune for an album? And she said, yeah, mama, write off a rhythm. But you wouldn't know that. But she's so brilliant.
Brilliant at it,
Yes.
Coordinating between the rhythm and her headspace with melodies and lyrics. Yeah. I just love what she writes. Me and my wife have some good laugh all the while, because she put the humor in there too, you know.
Yeah.
And Lady G is a good writer.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they write very, Papa San is a good writer. Stitch is a good writer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Loving there is a good writer. These people have a gift, and, you know, I always admire them. But also, from your thing, people who have a great command of the language, man, write poetry and them thing, I really admire. Them people, everybody talk about me as well, legend and them. You know, Sam, you know, legend compared to people who can handle English, man, handle the language.
But I read that it was a feature of the 70s. Everybody sang in standard English, was it not?
No, not necessarily.
Most of those reggae
You
songs.
sang, let me tell you, you sang to your level of education, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or sometimes you covered existing songs from the American pop scene.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing we come back to. You know, if you don't have a good command of the language, you write it how you can deal with it. And it's a pity we don't have the kind of time, but I can go through so many things, you know, so many errors in terms of songwriting, where tenses mix up and all of that.
Of course.
They're trying to write standard English market. They try to,
Yes.
but it just come out incorrect all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Or
hypercorrective
speaking.
Sometimes them they sing a song and they have a line in there that they don't know what it means.
Yes.
Both in Jamaica, there's a band in Cayman, there's like a small anecdote, and they were singing this tune, A Boom She Boom, which was written by
Mallory.
Yeah, Mallory.
Mallory, yeah.
Big hit and everything. So then they go Cayman and this band doing A Boom She Boom and say, wow, reggae got nice. But you know, but them sing it right. But the verse that said, the line in there said, classic in town, good vibes just a flow. What the guy sang was classic and Tom, good vibes just a flow. Classic in town don't mean nothing to him. Classic is a disco where you don't have a town or It never meant anything to him.
Yes.
So the closest thing that him could have hear within
him relate to what him hear, yeah.
Just like even one scotch, one bourbon, and one beer.
One beer.
Right. A lot of people sing one scotch, one burger, man.
Well, put it this way.
You know,
I have a suspicion that this is what it is. It's an existing old song. It's a rock and roll song.
Yes.
Right? But bourbon, when the song was written, never meant anything to the typical Jamaican.
As a drink.
Right. There are Jamaicans who drink bourbon, you know, and drink whatever else them drink. But the broad population, nowadays bourbon is a thing.
You know, which is my favorite song in that kind of sequence, though? Like the classic mistakes that become legendary. Isn't it strange how princesses and kings? No, I saw the poem going on. But we sing, isn't it strange how princesses and kings and clowned capers in the sawdust rings? It's from actually a British poem that, you know, is a book of rules. Book of rules,
man. Yeah, man.
So the correct thing really, you know, isn't it strange how princes and kings and clowns that caper in sawdust rings and common people like you and me are builders for eternity.
Yeah.
Each is given a bag of tools,
But
a
in fact-
shapeless mass,
right.
and a book of rules.
Right.
Yeah.
But they sing what them hear.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
And leave a generation
singing the same thing.
consistently
This is
singing the
why-
wrong stuff.
This is why when you copy a song, one, or when you write a song, number two, you have to be clear with your lyrics. Because you know, people think them here, you understand?
Yes.
When I write, Alvin wrote Ring Road Jam, Alvin Campbell's
Yes.
Ring Road thing for the people of UA and thing on them, Ring Road Jam, big deal, right? But when people sing it, I sing it, I thought I was clear. When I say, but I feel no pain, I'm too far under.
Yes.
You know, because you're drinking up your
Yeah,
liquor.
man.
you think.
Yeah.
That's what Alvin wrote.
Yes.
Great lyrics. But people sing out there, I feel no pain on your veranda.
yes, I feel okay that you've veranda.
Yeah.
That's
See, you hear it too.
correct.
Yeah.
But we're going to another break, and I want to hear from Halliburton, because when we come back from the break, we're going to have in that chair the great Ernest Smith.
Yes.
So I want you to tell us, Halliburton, because we're talking about people's misinterpretation. Is, in your estimation, the work of the writer the most critical element to the transformation of society from an educational perspective?
Wow. Talk about the gift of music, and then that famous quotation, behold, the pen is mightier than the sword, the power of words, right? Definitely, I mean, lyrics on a whole. The power of music coupled with the lyrics can definitely move a generation. I just said it, I said that the pen is mightier than the sword, so we have to be mindful of what we write. And of course, in respect of, I don't want to get into that, but in respect of the sanctions that are being now attached to the lyrics and such like, it's very fitting. But from an educative standpoint, you definitely need to be mindful of what it is you're feeding the masses, right? Because it is so powerful. I mean, the same way Bounty Killer said,
Book, take up on the book, yeah.
Inversely, he said, copper shot.
Yeah, I said
And
people
a
dead.
guy aspired that should die,
Yeah,
copper
yeah,
shot in him heart.
yeah.
So that child, that young man who is so minded,
has to decide which message to take.
Which of the two?
Which message
of
to
the two?
take.
So there you go. So,
So-
on the point of that, very critical.
No, well, we're going to a positive message, Grub. I know you want to say something, but we're going to hold it till we come back from the break.
My school, man, I'm invite all of the politicians.
All right, that's all good. But we're going to go to the break quickly.
Because that's what you say.
Absolutely.
Influencing thing of the writer. Of course,
yes.
how we control.
Absolutely. But Nickette Morgan is going to take us to the next break, doing a tribute to Glacier Robinson, and again, one of our greats, gospel artists, doing Hold My Hands today, a tribute at the Jerry Honor Awards.
Surely fading. Trials come both left and right. In the same all I see. Broken dreams with painful memories. Request for help abide with me. Still I know you're standing near me, and I so need your hand in mine. So Lord, I ask you today, please hear my cry and hold my hand today. Lest I fall, guide my steps all the way. Please hear my call for the kids of life is all I now see. Please walk me through it. Oh Lord, it's all I ask of thee. So hold my hand, lest I fall. Guide my steps all the way. Please, Lord Jesus, hear my call for the years of life is all I now see.
Well, that is Niket, one of the most powerful female voices we have now in gospel in Jamaica, paying tribute to one of our best, Glacier Robinson. And of course, that's Glacier is now a pioneer. Is now a pioneer with that same song and with so many other great songs that she has done. And that's a fitting way to welcome the pioneer himself, the man who said life is just for living. Ernest Smith, welcome. Welcome to the conversation about writing and writers and
All right.
composers and composition.
Good to be here.
So we had an opportunity to talk to Grub before, and Makian. Makian is a young Turk.
Yes.
Grub has been around the circle a couple of times. You know how many times he has been around the circle, and and I'm sure there have been several collaborations musically between yourself and him.
Oh, yeah.
But tell us though, because we know. All right, so Life is Just for Living was a big thing. Was that your biggest? Was that your biggest work?
Well, in terms of sales, it wasn't that big, but in terms of beer, it was very large.
It sold a lot of beer.
It
sold a lot of beer. It's a lot of beer. But then you have also done great work in so many other areas, and you have written for so many people. Some of the top ones. You've done a lot of work with Pluto, and we know that.
You know something? I keep getting blamed for Pluto's songs. You know.
Yes.
Everybody swear to God is me write Rambo liver, but Pluto is a writer in his own right.
Yes.
You know, I've written for Johnny Nash one song.
Yes. Tears on My Pillow.
Tears on My Pillow.
Uh-huh.
It sold more for him than it ever sold for me.
Yes.
Who else?
Tinga Stewart, sir.
Tinga Stewart.
you see, I grew up with the discography down pat. I know exactly what I'm going.
Yeah, Tinga Stewart.
Yes.
Come up again, Grub.
Yeah, come up again.
Yeah,
Grace
man.
Thrillers.
Grace Thrillers.
Grace Thrillers.
Yes.
Yes. And I actually wrote one for Glacier
Yes.
called My Jesus.
Yes.
That one was kind of special
And
because
you also wrote for Faith Aguilar. Hello.
Faith De Aguilar, yeah.
Sometimes good girl like me.
I tell you, say, Grub is the library, though.
Grub
is the library.
Is the musical secretary.
Grub
You
is
see, the problem is
Controls.
when discographies are this big,
Yes.
him can't remember a lot of the stuff.
Yes,
Him write so many songs, you know.
Yes.
And sometimes the amount of hits you have, you know, is part of the fact that you're a prolific writer, because the average is like that, you know.
Yes.
So
The more you write, the more likely you are to have
so
hits
yeah,
in
the
there.
more likely you are, but also it is an indication that you're good.
I wrote a few for Ken Lazarus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I wrote one for Neville Willoughby.
Yes. I see a smile on your face. You're remembering something special.
No. It's a slight smile when I'm not remembering anything.
But you know what I always wanted to find out?
Yeah.
Before we had things like cell phones to just jot our ideas down on in a kind of audio file, how did you do it?
Pen and paper.
You just write down the lyrics and you write down the chords and you just play?
Well, I would write the numbers of the melody. The chords just came after I got the melody. But I didn't know enough notation to go with the melody, so I just write the numbers down, you know, from 8 right down to
Yes.
1. And that's the melody.
How you remember the rhythm?
The rhythm?
Yes.
The rhythm remember itself.
Good answer.
You really remember itself?
Yeah, because it's where you want to carry it.
Yes. No, but that's a serious thing. So, but it means though that you probably would have had to start over a couple of times, because sometimes you forget.
Oh God, I forget my own songs that I write for myself. It's like my mother used to call, you know, 7 names before she hit the right name.
Yes.
There were 7 of us. So
But that ties into what Grub was saying about the more prolific you are, the more likely you are to make. So I'm going to ask this to Grub and Makian, because Grub would have written hundreds of final. He would have come up with hundreds of final documents.
Yes.
Final pieces.
final mixes.
Final mixes. But all those would have probably gone through 7 iterations before him get to the right to the right thing.
Right.
Or no.
No. Because I know exactly up to 85-90% what I want before the thing complete. Because look, for me, let's get down to the brass tacks.
Yes.
Now. And it will be interesting if you ask Ernie that and
And then you're going to ask Makian, yeah?
Yeah, because it's important. The fact is, most of the songs I've written, a lot of them, probably half of them are marginally more, because sometimes people will ask me to do work or they already have
An idea of what they want.
lyrics or something or a melody.
Yeah.
But in general, for me, from back in the day, not now, because you know, I'm a good guy now. But back in the day, you're on a nice girl and you get a vibe. Nowadays, you're traveling to the country, you get a vibe. Sometimes on an aircraft, you get a vibe. And these songs just come for me. So I hear songs. When I did All Night Party, I was in Winnipeg in a hotel room. And this thing just started playing in my head. All Night Party. I don't call it in, it just come in. When them guys come and say, yo, man, big tune, you know. Right? You see it for another one. You see it in my brain, I tell Frankie, yo, I want soca tune. Hey, yeah, man. You understand? And so the songs come a lot like that. I can't explain it. One draw for Rita Marley, just same way. I was in Florida. Just say, I want to get high, yeah. And I had to sing it all the way. Because we were on like a 150-mile journey.
Yeah.
And I had to be singing it alongside late Ricky Walter. I said, Ricky, remember this, you know.
Yeah.
We sing it the whole journey. I reach hotel, man. Click on the tape recorder, boom.
Yeah, a lot of stuff
and
just
then I call Rita and say, Rita, may have the next hit, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of way, yeah.
Yeah, Ernie, but your process.
A lot of stuff just comes through you. You just sit down and you hear it. It's just like Grub said.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you need to fine-tune what you hear. But a lot of stuff just comes through you. It is, just call it blessing.
So then you're considering yourself a vessel. A conduit.
A lot of times.
A conduit through which the messages are sent.
A conduit.
Yes.
I told them earlier before you arrived, Ernie, that we are receptacles receiving these signals from the universe.
True.
There you go.
Like satellite dish, boom, boom, boom. And now the thing just trap it. Someone will just trap it.
Yeah.
I suppose Mackie and him chopped a few too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure where I'm at now as a writer, which is really good because I've been lucky enough for a few people to be in the space when I'm in the creative space where I can find an entire song with a reasoning. Like when I write in song now, I reason with the persons that are around me.
Yeah.
And I'd say, we should try this. Maybe we should sing a song about love, but maybe approach it from like, sparks fly, the dark skies light up with stars while the moon climb the mountains when I'm around you. And then somebody just happened to record what I'm saying because this is not something that was preset within my mind to say. Yeah. I'm just saying, yo, we shouldn't
open the aperture
and with a conversation, I'm like, maybe we not just write the normal way or we normally usually do. Let's try to say something different. You make my heart go la la, la 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 la, you're my peace of mind. And he's like, Maki, that's really good, man, yeah? You record it? I don't think I remember what I just singing out. Yeah. So most of the times, even now, we'll find ourselves not using a lot of pen and paper like before. So what I try to do all the time is whenever I'm about to, if I find myself in an energy where I feel like there's a lot of things coming, I just press record. And I'll have that recording running for even 15, 20 minutes.
That's by your cell phone, right?
Before I actually start thinking, because once I'm penetrating the fact that
you record it,
then it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
You know, because you start overthinking it now.
The overthinking point, which is true. Too many people overprocess things and lose the essence of what it is. But what I do, me is a old school better now. I have a normal tape recorder, reel to reel, you press the button, the little cassette.
Yes, sir.
And I write my tune them. You get the initial idea and you say, like me there, sit down right now.
Yes.
You understand? And I might write a tune in my head, say, big up your unusual name. And so I think, cell phone, big up your unusual name. And I start formulator.
Around that,
a hook.
Around that, yeah.
Right, and I keep that. And then when I go home now, transfer that to my cassette machine where I can manipulate it rather more easy than a cell phone.
Yeah.
Because if you break on a cell phone, correct me if I'm wrong, it got one different file. Rubbish.
Yeah. You want
continue on the vibe.
Yeah. So I transfer it to the.
But there's one thing I want to know.
Yeah.
You and who?
Me, myself, and I.
Me alone. You understand? Me alone.
Yeah.
No, but it is interesting to see how the technology has that affected. Because you see now, what we consider to be an upgrade in the technology and making life easier.
It's flaw, same way to someone else.
I want the thing play continuously.
Yeah.
Man.
So you want something where you can pause and pick up again.
Yes, man.
And pause and pick up again.
Right.
Which they have some apps that can do that too. But
I've never been through that.
Man.
Yeah.
When
it's very easy for just press and go.
You forget the app name Glory 2. All right, Glory 2. Hold on there. All right. And by then all the thought go down.
Yeah. Because now you're thinking about a total different thing to go back to a melody that wasn't originally there 5 years ago, continuously coming through is something that you just think of. Yeah, so once you break that vibe, some of the time it's the hardest thing to go back to.
You ever hear the fact that sometimes you didn't record something and the melody did nice and you can't remember the rhythm?
Never, yeah, man.
It's upset you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Because when you come back with not as sweet.
No, it's not the same vibe. But we have to break your vibe because we have to go to a break. We're going to our final break for today, and then we come back with the wrap up of the conversation. So we're going to Jalil again from our Jaria Honor Awards last year, and he's paying tribute as well. So we're taking a break for 3 minutes, and then we come back with the end of the conversation.
Everybody gotta keep on moving right now, sir. Yeah. You gotta keep on coming in. Everybody gotta keep on moving. Oh yes, I say now. You gotta keep on coming in to this dancing, to this dancing. You gotta keep under pressure, yeah. Sounds and pressure. Gonna put on the pressure, pressure, pressure. Sounds and pressure, yeah. And who can take it now, leave it, leave it. And who can take it, stay under it. Oh yes, Lord, we're gonna put on the pressure, yeah. We're gonna keep on coming in. Dig me straight, yeah. Dig me straight, yeah. So take your time, take your time, take your time. No need to worry. And take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. No need to worry. Say no slipping, no sliding, no bumping, no boring, no want to ride into town. Fall from the race is no disgrace. Just pick yourself from off the ground, yeah. So take your time, take your time, take your time, yeah. No need to worry. No, no, no. So take it easy and take it easy and take it easy and take it easy. No need to worry. And for the road is rough, but don't you ever get stuck on. So take your time, take it easy, take your time. No need to worry. I get my kicks from watching people, yeah.
Yeah, that's Jalil paying tribute to Hope Town Lewis. You know, if time had allowed, would I want to get to the end of that, because I'm telling you, everybody on set bopping and rocking, and you know, Ernie was saying something special about the younger generation paying tribute, and this is the relay, the exchange. Yes, this is the relay, the exchange. This conversation is about Ernie talking to a Makian, a Makian talking to a Grub, and saying, you know, do we have this? Do we have the same experience?
Is there any similarities?
Is there any similarity? What is different now? You know, how can I learn from you? See. Earlier, Grub said to Halliburton, "No man, me and you need to link up. You as the English master, and me as the melody master. Let's put it together. Yes, you know. Right. Let's tie that in.
That is the progress we need in the business.
Absolutely. So it's not just about them old heads or them young people, because that's part of the challenge that we're having, where we feel that there's a disconnect, and that me and you can.
There's a disconnect in a sense, but the disconnect comes from a false sense of old boy stay that side, the young boy stay that side. But when you really come together, I have produced or written stuff or corrected songs from many a young man, many a young girl, and them realize that yeah, the old boy still have it. He got it. You understand? So what happened, the experience, life's experience will change, but the methodology does not. So same when you write a song in the 40s, it's the same kind of thing now. If you watch some of these documentaries and some of the long time artists, you know, you will realize the same thing. The language might change a bit. Right?
The subject matter will certainly change.
The subject matter will change because different things come into play. When you're saying about selling link on the WhatsApp and da. Yeah, you never had that them time, you know?
Send a message.
And the whole thing about love making and stuff now become by the front burner and gun firing. Those things are always there. But they were on the back burner. Those wasn't things that you sang about necessarily. You understand? But it's just the way they express themselves, the so-called freedom of young people.
Yes.
And the so-called short-term attention span of young people.
Yes.
Right? So them record a tune and them like 1.5 verse and that's it because them know you no more. And the disposable thing, they make it to the big times, have them name in the marquee lights and blah, blah, blah.
Is it really the short attention span of the writers though? Or is it that they're pandering to the market?
They are pandering to the market. Glad you made the point. But that's a pity. But the young people nowadays, the other day there was a show in Mobile, I'm not going to really call any names, so I don't want to protect them. And a lot of young artists was there performing, yeah? They're not necessarily a songwriting thing, performing the no things and and then an artist from our kind of time come on using tracks and go for tear them apart. Everybody was tumbling all over each other in this huge place in Mobile. So the whole thing about music being there for young people and music there for old people.
Yes.
Music is just music.
Yeah.
You write a good song, you write a good song over whatever generation it come, it will mash them up same way. You understand? There's no other way to do it, but there's a certain degree of hypocrisy. Or they are pandering, the powers that be pandering to the loudmouths within, you know, within maybe within the diaspora, some elements there, or to the set of people who supposedly hip. You want to identify them and say, yeah man, I'm in the know, I know this, and you know, some of them go on the street language will last for 3 months and then change.
So is microwave material?
Of course.
Yeah, Mackie.
I'm glad you only call them loudmouths, so, you know.
Yeah.
we are on air, please.
Yeah, we're on air.
So there's I see it a little bit different, and I'm going to explain why the situation that like, all right, I've had this conversation. I'm going to use something outside of music. When we were younger, I think when I was younger.
You're not the only one who was younger, I know.
What year? No, a year when I was 14.
Yes. We could go. All right. When I was about 14, 15,
there you go.
and start like paying attention now, because this is when you start say, okay, you can identify this. Few years ago, I know when I started liking this, or I know when I started disliking this kind of thing. When I was saying, hey mommy, that I don't like that, you know, or hey friend, don't do that. That is not something that I like. I realize that over a period of time, I get to understand that this is not something that I like.
Yeah.
In regards to, I could use Christianity. See, there was a lot of a thing called convention, a thing called crusades on the roadside and all of them things. This is very important because I want tight very so everybody outside get this too. What they did was they went outside and them try to edify the younger generation. Not waiting on them to edify themselves, you know, because the path where them are going to take is going to be different.
Yeah.
If
And
there's
them
no
come to you
guidance,
for
if there's no guidance, and it is on us to always make sure that we guide them, because when them start do feed them kind of music, and then the elder them see it and I said, that a bugo yaga music, we not gonna be apartheid. I think that was, for me, I think that is when that generation said, listen, them not give we no strength, we are going to figure it out our own. And this is where internet and certain things became the space where them are going to push their music and figure out how them get, because them going to figure it out.
Yes.
Just like how the elder generation had to figure out how to
Yes.
get the music played, how to write, how to produce, how to get a product to sell. This generation is doing the same thing. But this generation is not waiting to be accepted. They're forcing themselves in. So I think when we were when they were doing that, a lot of the middle generation, not even them neither, just the middle generation kind of said, yeah, we're not in. So
We're
there
not
was not
dealing with them.
so there was not a lot of was not a lot of help
Yes.
for structure what they're coming with, because it's very important.
Can I straighten you up on one little thing though?
Yeah, man.
I'm going to reinforce your story. When I was young, we had the same problem. Our parents and bigger head them would say, oh, but we have music, so we have to find our own way, say way. Because we were influenced by the North American rock and roll and reggae, and we found it touched our soul rather than some of the stuff we inherited from Europe, from our British masters and things. And little by little, we're easing into our thing. Yeah? And that is good. But at the same time, sometimes one shouldn't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
You understand? And a lot of times, what young people doing. And so the songwriting thing becomes what I do. We're talking earlier, right? And you said, you know, you were brainstorming some people and them come with a line. That one come with a line, that come with a line.
Yeah.
That will not lend itself to a good piece of writing. Them things ain't going to say the chords. Just like you write it piece of piece, I see them way to.
It might end up sounding piece of piece.
It don't end up sounding piece of piece.
Even though that might work for some people, but
no, and I'm saying it don't work, you know, because there is room in popular music for everything.
all styles.
All styles. Because styles contend. Only Jamaica is one of the countries that break the rule. See, all style no contend, but if you know dance all, you know. So
You know, so no, but we.
Do you remember when?
Go ahead, Ernie.
Do you remember when we started to like our own music?
Yes.
For we own Jamaican reggae. And we started like as teenagers. And it was an eye opener. You know?
Yes.
I think the same thing is happening now, though.
Yes.
It might not be. It might just be as distasteful to us. Cause from let me use me as the middle ground.
And I give you 35 seconds to
Yes.
get the point, so I can get to everybody before them tell me say the conversation done.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So me as the middle ground now, because I am still older than the younger generation also. Younger than the older generation,
Yes.
older than the younger
Correct.
generation. So I see, that's why from the outside looking in, from both sides, I'm saying, I get that. Mind you, there are a lot of good songs being made here.
Right now.
Right now.
But a lot of good songs being made here.
Yeah.
Jalil, for example,
Yes.
is a
Brilliant
very,
writer.
very good writer. He's
Yes.
an extremely good writer. But maybe it's not being played as often.
Yes.
So Jalil, I forgot to do just the same thing that all of the other artists them find a way to market
get
his
attention
own stuff,
and to get
because
attention.
there's a bridge that is not connecting both us, the younger generation, and we need to figure that out, because if we keep just leaving it as is, we're going to end up in a space where it sounds very weird and no, this is not our one. But them I tell you, this is our one, sir. It might not be here, but this is no.
So we ended up in a divisive scenario
Yes.
instead of a scenario
Yeah.
that moves one generation to the next.
No.
And as usual, Jamaica wins the relay, but the US dropped the button. But I want to ask quickly before we wrap. When somebody says to you, Ernie, what's your favorite song that you have written? Can you tell them?
You know, it's still to this day the first song I recorded.
Which was what?
I Can't Take It. Tears on My Pillow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I call it my birth as a songwriter because
Yes.
it's a pain song, but I made it up.
Yes.
You know,
Were you
nothing-
actually going through pain?
No, I made it up.
It was simply you being a vessel.
Me being a vessel.
Makian, what's your response?
Wow. There's a song called My Way with Chevron. He's now known as Choir. And it was coming from a space where I lost a family member, and I wrote it for the mother's son, which is a friend, which is my cousin, and that's where that song came from. Mind you, it's not the biggest song I've ever written. I have a huge song from Alba Rosie, You'll Never Find by Jackie, Warrior Love by Etana, Luciana, just to name a few, but that song
that is the one.
so much to me. Yeah.
Grub.
That question give me a problem every time.
Every time.
Because I am such a broad-based writer. I write in so many genres, and so certain songs will fit a mood at a particular time. So I can't, in all honesty, tell you that one particular song hold me. You know, what hold me is when, you know, they really going and really have a big tune like you see from a right and thing.
Yes.
And I go number one, say, yeah, you know, or a Christmas tune, Christmas in the Sun, and it go number one, and
Yes, yeah.
But in general, I just take it in stride. But look, I want to say this before we wrap.
Yes, because we get the
People,
signal
listen
heavy.
to me now, people out there, all the songwriter, them and thing, right? If you are a private person, meaning you know yourself, you know, don't wear your heart on your sleeve if you're a writer, meaning say don't tell everybody your business.
Yes.
Through your songs.
Yes.
Right? Because you're writing out of experience. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's all right, but don't do it if you're a private person. If you don't care, then wear your heart by your sleeve. It is your right so to do if you want to do it.
Yes.
Right? And also, when you write, please do not write about topics you can't defend later in life.
Yes.
Yeah. Life after music.
Yes.
Correct.
You understand me? I say? So all them man who go on to church and I preach now, I used to sing about 19 clip and I look off Marrow. And I fly.
It might come back to haunt
It
you.
come back to haunt.
It will forever be there.
That's correct.
This has been Jeria Reggae Open University. The relay, the exchange. Ernest Smith joined us. Makian. Grub Cooper. Of course, Dean Halliburton, our Director of Education, was with us as well. And this is a conversation that will continue, that must continue, so that one generation can pass the skills on to the next. One generation can learn from the mistakes of the previous generation, and each generation can appreciate the value that the other generation brings. Makian, you were saying that you were honored to be in this company.
I am. I think at this point in my life, a lot of people that has been following music in the know would say, yeah, Makian is an extremely good songwriter, and I'm grateful for that title.
Yeah.
But in comparison to these people that I'm allowed to be around today, I am extremely grateful because I study this music, you know.
Yes.
You know, I spent a lot of time listening to old music to get to what
where you are,
why and I watch a documentary them. I try to figure out where it all started, what was right before Rocksteady. Me learn all of that. Me know when them used to sing the American pop songs.
Yes.
I follow it to a T, and I encourage everybody to do that because some of the time it's so nice when you take an old song and infuse this new sound.
With a new sound. That's
yeah,
right.
you know.
And
Well, yes.
And then what it is too.
15 seconds, Grub.
15 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah, man. The fact of the matter is that you as a writer, it's a process.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. I said it to Ziggy Marley when he started out on the road. So people say I'm so like Bob. I said, don't worry about it. You'll find your roots.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will find your footing one day, and you'll become a good writer. It's a process. You don't
Ernie,
just
your 15
go to the
seconds.
living room and wait, you know?
I give you the last 15 seconds, Ernie.
Boy, just do what you love what you do, and pick something you like and call it work. Pick a song you like and call it work. Pick a rhythm you like and call it work. Love what you do.
Yes.
It has been Jeria Reggae Open University. It's been a pleasure. The relay, the exchange. Reggae Month continues. Check Jeria's Instagram and Facebook pages. PBCJ. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.